Imagine this on a cold morning in the heart of the city. A homeless teenage girl, thin and shivering, shares her only piece of bread with an elderly man starving on the pavement. She had nothing, yet gave everything. But what she didn't know was that a man in a black suit, sitting quietly in his luxury car nearby, had been watching the entire moment unfold. That man was a CEO. And what he decided to do next would completely change her life forever. The city was alive with noise, but for Amara, the 17-year-old girl living on the streets, every day was survival. Her clothes were torn, her shoes too small, and her hair tangled from weeks of sleeping under bridges. Hunger had become her shadow, gnawing, cruel, and unrelenting. Still, she walked through the marketplace with her usual hope that maybe someone would drop a coin or a leftover sandwich into her hands. That morning, she had managed to gather enough to buy a small, stale piece of bread from a vendor who looked at her with pity. She clutched it tightly, like it was treasure. Just as she was about to eat, her eyes fell on an old man, thin as a skeleton, sitting on the curb. His face was wrinkled, his lips cracked, and his trembling hand clutched his empty stomach. Amara's heart broke. She knew the pain of hunger all too well. Without hesitation, she walked up to him, knelt beside him, and offered him the bread. The man's eyes filled with tears as he whispered, "Why, child, you need it too." Amara simply smiled and said, "I know hunger, and I can't watch someone else suffer like me. Please eat." The old man took the bread, hands shaking, and began to eat slowly. Amara watched him with quiet satisfaction, even as her own stomach twisted in pain. She didn't notice the sleek black car parked across the street. Inside sat a man in his 40s, wearing an expensive suit, his eyes hidden behind sunglasses. His name was Adrian Cole, a billionaire CEO known for his ruthless business strategies, but today, for the first time in years, his heart stirred as he watched a homeless girl choose kindness over her own survival. Adrian didn't drive away. He sat there, staring at her, wondering how someone with nothing could still have so much to give. The next day, Amara sat under the same bridge, curled up with her thin blanket, shivering in the cold night. She thought no one cared, that her small act of kindness was forgotten. But fate was already moving in ways she couldn't imagine. Adrian Cole couldn't shake the image of her giving away her bread. He had seen people in business hoard millions, yet never share a dime. But this girl, who owned nothing, had a heart wealthier than all of them combined. That night, he told his driver to find her. It took hours, but finally, they spotted her huddled in the shadows. Amara flinched when a man in a suit approached her. "Don't be afraid," Adrian said gently. "I saw what you did yesterday." She looked at him suspiciously, pulling her blanket tighter. "I don't know what you mean." Adrian knelt down, lowering himself to her level. "You gave your food away, even when you were starving. That's something most people wouldn't do. Tell me, Amara, do you want a chance at a better life?" Her eyes widened. No one had ever offered her anything except pity or rejection. "Better life," she whispered. Adrian nodded. "Yes. Food. Shelter. Education. A future. But only if you're willing to work hard and never lose that heart of yours." Tears spilled from Amara's eyes as she nodded desperately. That night marked the beginning of a new journey. Adrian placed her in a safe home, enrolled her in school, and gave her mentors to guide her. She stumbled at first, insecure and scared, but each time she remembered the starving elder, she found strength to keep going. Years later, Amara stood tall on a stage, receiving an award for starting a foundation to help homeless children. The audience gave her a standing ovation. Among them was Adrienne Cole, smiling proudly. The girl who once had nothing had become a woman who gave everything just as she always had. And to those listening to her story that night, she said, "Kindness is never wasted. That one piece of bread I gave away brought me here today. If you have even a little to give, give it. Because you never know who is watching, and how one act of kindness can change your life forever."